computer, why we go back with the history of computer? So to know what is the root of this computer that we have now. So what is the importance of the history? So importance of the history, para makonect natin ngayon, what we have now using computer, our gadget, our cell phone, and ayan, computers and all. So that's the importance of the history. Why computers were developed? What do you think? Why computer were developed?
Para mas madali po yung mga bagay-bagay mo.
Yes, mapadali, di ba? We do it in one day. Computer can do it in a day. Okay, so I'll give you a sample later for a while. May pumasok, ay admit ko muna ha. So, an hour work, example, one day work, we can do it in 1 hour. An example, bakit ka pa nag-aaral? Diba? Something like that. We have now company na konti na lang ang tao, robotics can do that. So kung hindi nga sana pandemic, dalhin ko kayo sa Davao and we will try to look at how is communication, the cell phone, the communication, I mean, the globe and the smart work in our phone. Another example, dinadala ko ang aking BSA student. Diyan lang, di aabot ng Davao, diyan sa may Darong, ano tawag nito? San Miguel Corporation. Ang gumagana diyan is, kunti na lang ang tao sa loob. They use robotics in mixing their beers. So something like that. Nagbawas ng tao, pero robots can do it or computers will do it. An example of checking, sorry, checking the battle. Pag pupunta ka, I hope nakita nyo yun, ito pag trip nyo sa Davao or nag-shopping kayo sa Davao. When you go home at night, yung Coca-Cola plantation, makita natin sa labas, nasa loob yung worker, nakikita natin may nag-check sa bote, kung may crack siya, tama ba yung length ng tawag nito, ng beer, ng Coke sa ganyan. Pero sa San Miguel Corporation, robot will check it. So, lahat na na-check niya. Okay, next is we have the need to use the device to calculate. Why is computer to develop? The need of use of device to calculate. Sandali. Kawawa naman yung pumasok. Papasukin ko muna. Okay, to keep track information. So, yung gamit natin ngayon, the use of computer for communication. Ayan. Next, the word to calculate is derived from the Latin word calculus. During your senior high school, you have your calculus, di ba? Which means small stones. So, yun ang gamit, di ba? Nung bata, I don't know, hindi ko na alam sa inyo, pero nung bata kami, we used or nung grade 1 ako, pinadala ako ng stick ng teacher ko to count 100 sticks na yan. Or, we have stones, we use stones in counting it. So, yan. Noong unang panahon, or in the latter, we have this calculus, which means small stones, the word calculus that we have. They use pebbles or beads were used to illustrate the Chinese, diba? This is what we call as the abacus nung before, during the history of computer. So we will start. What are the early counting calculating device before? If we have the calculator now, na pindot-pindot, or we have our cell phone like this, I'll go with the calculator. Diba? Ito yung ginagamit natin, calculator. So before, they are using the abacus, sorry, the Napier bones, and slide rule. So first, early counting calculating device. So what is this abacus? This is the first man-made computing device made up of beads by moving the beads that have different positional significance on the rod. So, performs addition and subtraction. So, this is known as saupan in Chinese, and in Japan, it was soroban. So, it looked like this. Yung gamit natin na abacus last time is we have a rod. Makita ba? Hindi ko na alam kung makikita niyo ako. So, rod, parang stick na ganyan, rod, and then we have string, tapos may mga beads. That is abacus. Yan ang calculator before. Yung nakikita nyo sa screen ngayon. So the only value is aids the memory of the human performing the calculation. Calculator nila yan before. Look at our calculator now. Dipindot na nga. 1 plus 1, naging 3 pa. Di ba? But look at their calculator before. So, a very old abacus, we have that black. May mga ibig sabihin niyang black at saka white na yan. So, that is called as the abacus, a calculator before. So, abacus was so efficient that it spread far and wide and in some lands and still in use. Ginagamit natin ngayon. Kung di pa kayo nakakita ng ganyan, punta kayo sa baba, sa iBed. May malaking abacus doon, nasa labas lang. Kalaki-laki, malalaking beads niya. So, they use for counting. Gina-count lang yan ng mga kinder. So, 17th century, so during this era, European thinkers were fascinated by the challenge of making the device to aid in, take note, calculation. Okay? So, John Napier, so Scotchman, theologian, mathematician, and designer of military weapons who discovered logarithms. I encountered logarithms sa akin na lang kasi baka sabihin niyo magkaiba tayo. So, during my high school time. So, yan. So, logarithms is a technology that allows multiplication to perform via addition. So, example, 2 times 3, so 2 plus 2 plus 2, something like that. The magic ingredient is the logarithm of each operand, which was originally obtained from printed table. An alternative to tables where the logarithms values carved an ivory stick called the Napier bones. So bones here, it's not an ordinary bones, but it is made of ivory stick. Ano yung ivory? Anybody? What is that ivory? Hala, nawala kayo? May estudyante pa ba? Ayun, dyan pala kayo. Kala ko nawala. Anong ivory? Pag sinabi nating ivory, ano yan siya? Ano ibig sabihin nito?
From tusks or horns.
Yes. Yung sa elephant, di ba? Ayan, yung puti ng ganun sa elephant.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay. So next, eto na siya. Parang mahjong lang no sa bahay. Segmented rod. So the answer, the multiplication.
Capture po daw si Eljoy po po, ma'am.
Nandyan pa, may nag-add. Sige, add natin. So, ito siya. Wait lang ha. Made of ivory, di ba? Ayan. Wala naman. Wala nang pumasok. Asan siya? Okay, balik tayo dito. So, ito. This is a calculator. So, using adding numbers horizontally. Multiplication found by adding numbers horizontally and ayan. Adjacent section invented in 1617. Calculator ito, class. So, noon, magdala ka ng calculator, hiwa-hiwalay siya. Ayan. Okay? So, that's the calculator before. Next, slide rule. So, mathematician who combine Napier's table in handy device. Ito, mas magaan na siya for rapid calculation. So, this is a calculator. Sorry, itong mga mga lapis na yan. Invented in 1620s. 16 to 32 makes multiplication done faster. May ganito ako noon na ruler. Akala ko ruler. This is a calculator. So, baka makita niyo yung National Bookstore. Di nyo naintindihan. That's a calculator. By the way, kindly familiarize with those pictures na ganyan. Sa quiz natin by next meeting, some part I just show you the picture and you are going to identify it. Okay, balikan muna natin. May papasok yata. Okay, next is second part na tayo. Question with the first part. Naintindihan or baka ako yung medyo mabilis at sabagay, this is your assignment. I will proceed. Okay. Naintindihan. Mechanical calculating device. So we have 2, 4, 6. arithmetic engine, step reckoner, mechanical loom, difference engine, analytical engine, and we have the Zutz difference engine. So in the Blaise Pascal, French mathematician and experimental physicist at the age of 19. O, di ba, mga bright ang nasa history natin. This is a calculator. It is known as Pascaline. They call it Pascaline sum. It's like the Segar box size, pattern after the abacus, but instead of using hand to move the beads or counter, using peg wheels. So yung mga bilog-bilog niya dito, ito. Invented in 1642 for a tax collection problem in France. So Blaise Pascal created this calculator for his father, who is a tax collector. Tax collector. So yan yung bit-bit ng calculator. Ang bigat-bigat. But the first Pascaline is look like this one. 2, 4, 6 lang. So hanggang 99,999. Tama ba? O hindi? 100,000 pala. So it has 999,000. O yan. Pwede siya mag-compute up to that. 6 digit. And this is the new one. After that, yun yung nauna. We have now 8. Okay? So yan, it can add and subtract up to 8 digits because of this one. So create this calculator for his father, who is a tax collector. Sometimes we are like that. You will be successful if you dedicate your course now as, ayan, BSA. So dedicated to your parents, you will be gusto ko maging CPA kasi para sa amin ng mama, papa ko, take note, mabilis ka mag-graduate at magiging CPA ka. Like this one, look at Blaise Pascal. In the history of computer, nasali siya. O, di ba? Dedicate niya to. Or this machine is for his father, who is a tax collector. Now, we have got Fred Wilhelm von Leibniz. We have a German philosopher and mathematician. Ito naman yung machine niya. Okay? An improvement, mabigat pa rin, of Pascal machine 1674. So, for his father, mercantile business naman. It can add, subtract, multiply, divide, and can get square root. So, that's the calculator. Okay. So, although step reckoner employed the decimal number system, each drum had 10 floats. Okay. So, ito. Ayan. Okay? Leibniz was the first to advocate the use of binary numbers. Binary numbers is, this is the number which is 0 and 1. O, yun lang. Actually, computer understand only the number 0 and 1. I'll explain that one further later. So, binary number system, which is the fundamental of operation of modern computers. He is considered the greatest philosopher but died poor and alone. O, hindi siya nag-asawa. So when the age of industrialization spread throughout Europe, machine became regular fixture and agricultural production site. So we have this a Frenchman, which is Joseph Marie Jacquard. So ito, the use of punch card that is used to web fabric in 1801. So invention was not a computer. It's only a contribution was the idea that a machine can do repetitious job 24 hours a day without subject to boredom. So yun na. Then, nothing repetitious nature of tasks requires webbers working on looms device, a stick card with a series of hole punched into card and block a certain thread from entering the loom and let other threads go on to complete the web. And it can web flower and animals too. So, it looked like this one. Ito. Hindi siya ha. It's not, was not a computer. Okay, so we have this. So, using that punch card, store and predetermined pattern to be woven by the loom, ingrained by the mind of Charles Babbage. Which is Charles Babbage, ito tandaan nyo, is the father of modern computer. Why? So first, a French mathematician constructed a demonstration, a model based on the rotating wheel principle. The preliminary model was made with tooth wheels and shaft turned by a crank. The model was so received by the unbuilt and working version. So we have this one. The first one is this, invented in 1822. This was supported by the government that time. So expected to finish in 3 years. However, work on it for 10 years. Ang tagal. O, di ba? Wala pa rin. This one is the British government had decided then to withdraw the financial support. Can you imagine 3 years to 10, hindi siya naging successful. So another machine developed by Charles Babbage. So pero tinawag siyang father of computer because of this machine now. Because it can perform all mathematical calculation, store values in each memory, and perform logical comparison among values. This machine, ayan, tinawag siya na father of modern computer because the first person conceived the computing machine must have the input device. Ayan, may input device kasi tayo ngayon sa computer that can use as the card reader, the memory, which can store, the CPU or central processing unit, they call this the mill, and the output device, which is the printer, making him called as the father of the modern computer. The idea of computers that we have now, or the available computers that we have now, is coming from the idea of Charles Babbage. That's why Charles Babbage calls us the father of the modern computer. So yan, conceive the machine, direct work, punch card, and perform addition operation. Then print the result. Print the result, built however that exists the plans and drawing and small portion of the mill and printer, Babbage son. Bakit kaya naging successful yun siya? So, what was the missing in Babbage dream was the electronic because of the technology at that time was not even taught as electronics. Naging successful siya because we have pumasok ito in the second machine, pumasok si Lady Ada Augusta Byron. This is the inspiration of Charles Babbage. Guwapa siya sa bang wala. Pangit yung mga pictures na nakita ko. Ito. So this is Lady Ada Augusta Byron. So worked with Babbage. She was 27, developed the instruction, and she translated Charles' idea. She was the better at explaining than Charles. Diba? Minsan mahiyain. Then, ayan. And, siyempre, partner man silang duha. So, Lady Ada Augusta Byron is the first computer programmer. Be proud, ladies. We are. Lady is the first computer programmer. Okay, question on Charles Babbage? Kasi siya yung father. Can you add more from your research? Who is Charles Babbage? Baka may mga idea pa kayo. Pangalan para ma-record ko. Anybody? Okay, wala. I will proceed. Okay. So, suits difference engine. So, Swedish printer, inventor, and translator. So, modified niya yung work ni Charles Babbage. Can I go fast so that nabasa niyo ba yung assignment ninyo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, paspasan
Yes,
ko na
po,
ha. Very good, para hindi tayo maging boring. So after that, i-modified niya. So we have this one. So take note, look at it, the version. Nag-study na from the previous work, which is Charles Babbage to develop. So in the third one, we have now the punch card, the ABC, the Mark 1. We have the complex numerical calculator, Z1 to Z4, the ENIAC, IDSAC, and the IDBAC. So we have now the punch card, a German-American statistician, Hermann Hollerith. So we have this one, the punch card machine. Ginagamit to sa US Bureau, gigamit before by the US Bureau of Census in tabulating and sorting data. So what is this tabulating and sorting data? Can you imagine ilang tao ang meron sa lugar sa US, di ba? Kagaya sa atin sa Pilipinas, they are going to record how many people, mga pangalan, ayan. So by clicking it, we will have the example in Excel. Kaya nga nagtanong ako sa inyo kung may computer kayo, Excel. In just one click, your data can be sorted. So ito yung machine. Magtaka kayong lalaki pa no ng machine. And we have later, we have more. So yan. 1790, yan, US Congress has required the census of the country country's population. Yan. In short, yung sinabi ko kanina. So, 6 weeks na lang siya natapos instead of 7.5 years. Can you imagine ilan na kaya ang maad na tao yan sa 7.5 years na hindi mo pa natapos ang census, di ba? But with that machine, we have now 6 weeks. Okay. So, ito na siya. Presentation of the punch card. So, yan. The result, we have on recorded in a machine presented in the way that tabulating result of the census. So, IBM. Ang IBM ngayon, nawawala siya. Sayang, no? Nasa history, hindi lang talaga naalagaan ang company. IBM is collaborated with the HP. Late na, before. So, nakiisa na siya sa HP machine. So, Thomas Watson was the founder of IBM. So, 1924 from another, yan, supplier. Then we have the ABC, Jan Vincent and Atanasoff, a physics and mathematics professor of Iowa State College. So, Atanasoff, siya A. And ito yung student niya, si Clifford Berry, ABC. Atanasoff Berry Computer. Ito siya. Computer yan siya. So, first digital computer that worked electronically, it made use of two or binary system. Capability of solving simultaneous equation as many as 24 unknown with a degree of accuracy. So, in the 1939, computer na yan parts of the... So, however, machine was not programmable, it lack of conditioned branch, its design was appropriate for only one type of mathematical problem. So, World War II, it was and abandoned it later. Mark I, automatic sequence controlled calculator, Howard Aiken. So, 1944. Imagine this one class, 8 feet high and 55 feet long, made of streamlined steel and glass that weighed 5 tons. So, developed in 1954. Ilan ang height mo? Yan yung computer before. 8 feet high, 55 feet long, 2 classroom siguro. Diba? Ano lang ang magamit ng machine na to? The Mark I. It can perform division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So, in a specified sequence and determined by settings and the switches. Yun yung magawa ng machine na yon, kalaki-laking machine. But this one can do it by our calculator. So, ayan siya, diba? Kalaki ang computer before. That is one machine, one computer. Okay? So, IBM was not into manufacturing computer until Howard Aiken convinced Watson to finance the project of building a computer based on Charles. Based on Charles Babbage's concept. So Watson gave him $1 million. Wow, that was before. To put up the computer. Then Watson, however, was pessimistic about the device. So he just donated it at Harvard University. So magkuhan tayo, field trip tayo sa Harvard. Ayan. Next is, ayan. We are familiar with the word, ito. Anong nangyari sa computer mo? May bug siguro. So, one of the primary programmers for Mark I was a woman. Very proud. I am a woman and marami kami dyan. Grace Hopper. Grace kasi last time, BSA din ang sinagot sa tanong ko, grasshopper during the quiz. Grace Hopper. So, yan. Programmer sa Mark I. Hopper found the first computer bug. So, dead moth that had been gotten into the Mark I and whose wings was blocking and reading the holes of the paper tape. So, the word bug has been used to describe the defect. Kaya yun, nag-start. Kada may depekto ang computer, nagbagal siya, may bug siguro ito. Something like that. So, created with the coining the word debugging. Ayan na. So, we are going to debug the computer para matanggal. Something like that. To describe the work of it, to eliminate program faults. Okay, next, we have here, George Tippett. Oh my God. may klase na ako at 3. Ibang grupo na naman. Basahan ko ha. So, we have now the bell switching engineering. So, we have this one. So, yan ang machine. Can subtract, multiply. Yan. Okay? So, we have this binary number system. So, we have computer, the use of vacuum tubes. Okay? This is in the first generation computer. And we have, when the World War broke out, the countries and, ayan. Okay. Puntahan natin yung ano. So, in ENIAC, electronic, we have 2 person here, Jan Presper Eckert and John Mosley. Look at the computers before. First, general purpose electronic digital computer. So, we have base in Atanasov. Okay. Look at this. 20 by 40 foot room. 30 tons, 18,000 vacuum tube, and 1,000 times faster. Yun yung machine. It was a proposal beforehand to military that built a machine that would cut the time needed to produce military artillery and bombing trajectories from 15 minutes. 15 minutes ang layo to 30 seconds. So, with the use of this machine. Okay, yan. So, Hungarian mathematician, Jan von Neumann. That's Neumann ang pagbasa. So, we have now the word first stored program. Yan. So, we have now the IDVAC. This is the machine. Now, generation of computer, dito tayo. So, history is very important. They use vacuum tube, light bulb, internal computer component. When you open that computer, yung maliliit na parang ilaw, nakita nyo man siguro yan siya. So that is called as the vacuum tubes. And then dated and programs. So yan, ginagamit siya dito sa UNIVAC and so on. Okay, ayan. Next, second generation, transistor. Sa lola na lang, mga bata pa man kayo, sa lola ninyo, sino ang nakaabot ng transistor radio? Nakakita kayo, yung battery lang siya, hindi siya yung ginasaksak, pero may radyo siya na nilalagyan ng malaking battery sa loob. Tinatawag yan na transistor radio. Why it is called as transistor radio? Kasi sa loob niyan, you can found this one. This is called as the transistor. I hope you have this one during your senior high school or high school, di ba? Yan. Transistor is transfer resistor. So next is advantage. So we have now here the program which is COBOL and the Fortran. 250 calculation per second. Okay. Third generation, we have now the IC. Integrated circuit. So yan na yung laman. We will open the computer. We have now this one. Okay. Next, replace ang transistor and ayan. So, ito siya yung, para siyang malaki, no? Integrated circuit. Maliliit lang yan siya. Okay, before, sige yung ating cellphone before, which is 3210, 5110. Natandaan nyo? Naabutan nyo yun? Hindi.
Naabutan, ma'am.
Yes. Ay, very good. Diba before, anong sira niyan? IC lang. Ginalang lang ninyo yon is hindi siya lang. Kasi ang IC, nagtrabaho ako abroad, naka-work abroad before. Ang ginagamit niyan, saan na ba yun? Sorry. Next meeting. Yung paa niyan, naka-work ako niyan. Ihiwalay ko lang. Dito tayo mas klaro. Ito, this one, ito. Hindi yan siya, kung gamit mo is cellphone, hindi mo yan makita na hiwa-hiwalay. You use yung cutter, di ba, manipis, para ihiwalay mo yan. When I work abroad, nag-overtime ako. Sige, Dobi, sa IC ako. Sa IC ako, IC, kwanda room, puti lahat, nakasuot pa, and then just, yun, gamit mo, tapos may magnifying glass, ihiwa-hiwalay mo lang yung, yan siya. For mag-overtime, alam mo yung Pinoy, masipag pag nasa abroad. So, ayan. So, IC, part of a computer now, very important, wag mong ilang lang yan siya. Kasi this IC is composed of, nakita niyo yung computer before in the history, di ba? Pinakita ko, one big room, ilang foot. Because of this, nagisiksik siya, nagisiksik na ganyan. That is the composition, kaya lumiit ng lumiit ang computer natin. That's why we have now our cell phone. That's why we have like this. So, maliliit na component. When we are going to open this one, or even computer, makita mo na, ganyan na pala siya. So, because of this IC. Ayan. And in the history, may mga bago tayo ngayon. Okay, do you follow? This one, inside that, ano yung mga wirings na nandyan na? It is like one strand of our hair. Isa lang siya. Makita natin. Di ba pag may split ends yan siya, makita mo, you can divide the hair into two. Pero yan siya, yung wire niyan, it is like our strand. Like hindi siya buro-buhok yan siya. Like the strand of our hair, i-divide mo yan siya 100 times. Yun na yung composition ng wire ng IC. So, ganun na siya kaninipis. Okay. So, yan. So, we have, look at it, sikat na sikat ang IBM before, but look at IBM now, parang nawawala na talaga siya. So, yan yung mga gamit. So, we have IBM, yung mga yan. So, fourth generation, we have now the microprocessor used by our desktop computer. Ito na, yung tinatawag yung CPU. Yan. The Central Processing Unit. So, yan. Microprocessor. Oh, yan. Don't worry kung ano, sana, before we end up on May, magkita, we have face-to-face. Bungkagon dyan din ang computer. So, gusto ko marunong kayo mag-troubleshoot sa computer. Okay, so we have now the AI, Artificial Intelligence. So, kagabi, tama-tama na panood ko to. So, we have now the robotics. Hindi siya like this one na tao, robot. We have a lot. Like yung sa bahay ngayon, bumili ako ng yung parang bilog siya pa. Ewan ko, galampaso pa kayo sa bahay nyo. Yung bunot. Meron pa sa inyo yon yung nag-scrub kayo ng floor. Meron na kasi ngayon niya parang ganun ang size. You just put it down. Siya na yung maglinis sa bahay mo. So that is called as one AI. Ito yung gusto kong makita ninyo. Sana, no, mag-field trip tayo sa may Darong banda. They are using the AI in Darong, the artificial intelligence. They are using the robotics in mixing the beer. At saka yung paglagay yung sa bottle, hindi talaga kayo maboard. Wow, parang ganun, amazed na. At saka ang sarap ng beer na bagong kawa lang. Magpainom sila sa inyo doon. Kaya pagdating ng Davao noon, puro lasing ang mga estudyante ko. So something like that. Makita nyo ba how this company work using the AI? Yan. So yan na. So I have the summary here. First generation, the second generation, third and fourth. Question, class. May tanong po? Sorry. Mabilis. Tanong, wala. Okay lang. Okay, by next meeting, we will have now the hardware and the software. So, bibilisan ko yun siya. We have a lot. And then after that, we will have our quiz. So, we'll do it online. Google Classroom. Tapusin ko muna. So, we have now the software. We will start with hardware. Ano yung mga hardware part. And then, i-slice natin yon. And then, we have software until the virus. Ano yung mga virus na meron ngayon. The network and so on and so forth. Pasensya ha, ang hirap pala no, na ganito. Kung igabi ko ang klase natin, gusto nyo? Basta ang klase natin is 9 o'clock, di ba? Siguro this week lang naman talaga kami na ganito, busy talaga. Pero sabi naman, kanina no, mag-stop na tayo, nag-meeting kami. Sabi ni Sir Clem, sige lang mga bright man na, di ba? Sige lang mga bright man yung kahabol lagi. Ka na lang si Sir Bernabe. Bright daw mo, panindigan nyo yan habang tayo lang may masiro sa exam sa quiz ko. Okay, may tanong po, sorry, or comment, paspas ba, mabagal, ano?
Okay lang.
Ma'am, hindi mo ang PowerPoint, ma'am.
Yes, I will put now the PowerPoint after our lecture. Ilalagay ko doon para ma-review nyo kasi parang gimiss ko yung iba. Sorry ganun ako kasi ang time natin, hinahabol ko talaga. Ilalagay ko po yan. Thank you, Loren. Na-remind mo ako. What else? The way I give, pero alam, that is the assignment. I hope na nabasa yun yung assignment ko, kaya mabilis ako kanina. Later, when we go to hardware, ayusin ko na siya na hindi na ganun kabilis. Then, yung aking mga gamit nasa lab pa. Yes, Julius.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Julius.
Po natin
Julius, di kita maintindihan. Okay, again.
siya matapos yung lecture.
Ang lecture is tapos na siya, pero dapat 9 to 10:30 tayo, no? MW. Dapat we have, now I started with the hardware part na sana, kaya lang, mag-end up tayo because I scheduled the other group at 3. Discrete mathematics ang subject ko next. Wala kasi ako nakaklase kahapon din. Ay, ano ba yung sa atin? MW, di ba? PTH. PTH pala, kahapon. Di ako. Ay, MW tayo? Saan na ba yung schedule ko? Tingnan nyo, nakakalimutan ko yung klase.
TTH po
TTH, yes. So, TTH, di ko na ano. Okay, may tanong pa? Ano pa? Comment. Bago ako mag-attendance. Okay na tayo? Open up, pas-pas, mahina ano man. Okay lang.
Okay na po, ma'am.
Okay na, ayan. Okay.
Okay
Open
lang
your
po.
camera, please, first batch. I will check the attendance. Okay. Good. Okay, 1, 2, may nag-drive pa ha. 1, 2, 3. I hope, ayan, nakinig ka kanina for a while. May nag-cover sa inyo, wait lang. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next na podta na batch, wait lang. Okay, ulitin daw natin. Ulitin ko yung first batch muna. Nawala yung ako. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, next batch tayo. 1, 2, 3. Another batch. Hindi kasya sa screen eh. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, 30, according to my record, I have 29 students. So, all perfect attendance. Good day, class. Ingat.
Good day,
Good day
ma'am.
po, ma'am.
Salamat po.
Good day, ma'am. Thank you po.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Just woke up.
Naghawa na si ma'am?
Yes!